think that I thought I was dealing with it. And I genuinely thought.
You fed them and they've been in the bath and they smell all of those things. You are completely exhausted. Well, I am anyway, if I'm being very honest. And it was kind of an idea of what would I...
She was once the golden face of British television. The woman whose smile could light up a stage and whose charm made her one of the most beloved presenters of her time. But now Cat Deeley finds herself standing in the middle of a storm she never asked for. A storm built not of her own words, but of whispers, headlines, and assumptions. Because as her marriage with Patrick Kielty reaches its breaking point, it seems the public has already chosen its villain. And in their eyes, it's her. Imagine that for a moment. The weight of carrying not only your personal heartbreak, but also the world's judgment pressing down on you, turning every glance, every headline, every online comment into an accusation. And suddenly the person who was once celebrated as a national treasure becomes the one everyone points their finger at. That is the reality Cat Deeley is walking back into as she prepares to return to this morning. A reality where she feels she must wear not only her wardrobe and makeup, but also a shield. Because behind every camera, there lurks a question. Will she smile too brightly? Will she laugh too loudly? Will she appear too unaffected by the cracks in her private life? And if she does, will the audience see it as proof of heartlessness instead of resilience? This is a cruel stage the media sets, where a woman going through one of life's most painful transitions cannot simply be human. She must instead play a role, and God help her as she fails to meet the script the tabloids have already written. But ask yourself this. How did we get here? How did Cat Deeley, who once embodied warmth and relatability, suddenly become the so-called villain in the eyes of strangers? The truth is as uncomfortable as it is predictable. Because when a relationship ends, the world wants a story, a hero, and a villain. And when the man in the picture is Patrick Kielty, the witty, lovable Irishman known for his humor and heart, it becomes all too easy for people to paint her as the cold one, the calculating one, the one who must have caused the collapse. After all, tragedy needs a face, and the crowd rarely chooses the smiling comedian to play the antagonist. It's easier, almost instinctive, to cast a woman in that role. But behind the gossip and speculation lies something more raw, something more universal. Two human beings who simply couldn't make it work anymore. Two hearts that tried and failed. And yet only one of them seems to be walking back into a firing squad disguised as a morning talk show audience. And this is where the story cuts deeper than celebrity, deeper than television, because what Cat Deeley is experiencing is not just a divorce, it's a cultural phenomenon. The way we as a society turn personal heartbreak into a spectator sport. Think about it. How many times have we watched a celebrity couple crumble and immediately rushed to assign blame? How many times have we turned a split into a courtroom, where the public becomes a jury and the tabloids a prosecution? It's not really about Cat Deeley or Patrick Kielty. It's about us, about the strange hunger we have to consume other people's pain, to simplify it into good and evil, hero and villain, winner and loser. And yet, real life is never that simple. Real life is messy, complicated, and filled with choices we will never see, sacrifices we will never know. So now, picture Cat Deeley walking back onto the set of This Morning. The cameras are ready. The lights are hot. The crew is waiting, and millions of viewers sit poised, not to hear the latest stories, but to watch her. Every glance, every word, every smile will be dissected, picked apart, and fed back into the narrative of whether she deserves sympathy or scorn. And the irony? She probably just wants to do her job. She probably just wants to step onto that set, talk about the news, laugh with her co-hosts, and then go home at night to piece together whatever remains of her private world. But when you're a public figure, you don't get to live that simply. The audience decides your story for you. And maybe that's the part we so often forget, that behind the headlines, behind the gossip, behind the whispers of who left who and why, there is still a person, a woman, a mother, someone with fears, with doubts, with tears that fall when the cameras are off. And if we strip away the spotlight for just a moment, what we are left with is someone trying to carry herself with grace while the ground beneath her shakes. That is not villainy. That is survival. That is humanity. So perhaps the real question isn't whether Cat Deeley is the villain of this story. Perhaps the question is whether we, the audience, the tabloids, the commentators, have become the villains instead. Because if we're honest, it's not her smile or her silence that condemns her. It's our appetite for turning heartbreak into theater, pain into entertainment. And that says more about us than it does about her. So here we are, a story that isn't really about celebrity or even television. It's about how fragile public perception can be, how quickly admiration can twist into judgment, and how easily a human being can be reduced to a headline. Cat Deeley may step on it at this morning stage with smile, but behind her smile lives the same fear many of us carry. The fear of being misunderstood, the fear of being judged for choices nobody else has the right to define. And maybe that's why this story matters, because in the end, it isn't about her or Patrick. It's about all of us and how we treat people when they are most vulnerable. So now I want to hear from you. Is Cat Deeley being unfairly cast as a villain in a love story that simply ended? Or do you think the media has exposed a side of the truth we don't yet see? Drop your thoughts below, and let's see if we can create a conversation that looks deeper than the tabloids ever will. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because this isn't the last time we'll peel back the layers of story that the headlines oversimplify. From the whispers of Hollywood to the heartbreaks on live TV, we'll be here to bring you the truth behind the spin. Until next time, stay curious, stay questioning, and remember, every story has more than one side.